Craig's Gun Channel. In this video, we're going to discuss the NEXTORCH ND30 distraction device. NEXTORCH was founded in 2005 in China with one of their first contracts to design and develop a higher standard government-issue flashlight for China's Ministry of Public Security. Since then, they've built a reputation as a trusted source for reliable illumination tools in over 100 countries worldwide, opening their United States headquarters in 2023 in Tennessee, with most U.S. orders being handled by their Washington State Fulfillment Center. They've become one of the world's leading manufacturers of illumination tools and specialized equipment designed for military, law enforcement, first responder, tactical, and outdoor applications, constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Their approach to product development begins with an in-depth understanding of customers' needs and preferences, and based on that, they focused on state-of-the-art research and development to create the finest high-performance equipment possible, earning more than 150 patents and numerous industry awards in the process. Using all of these capabilities, they set out to create a solution for the need for effective and reliable professional-grade distraction devices without the limitations and constraints of the current generation of Flashbang distraction devices. They've developed several designs and just recently released the ND30 system. This innovative system combines 11,000 lumens of disorienting strobe with 130 decibel sound output, providing law enforcement professionals a rechargeable alternative for SWAT teams and tactical units worldwide. Engineered for both training and field operations, the ND30 gives operators complete control through 4 specialized deployment modes contained in a familiar package with controls that mimic existing devices, allowing for ease of training and adoption. From single bursts to extended 12-second engagements, this system has proven its effectiveness in real-world scenarios where traditional distraction devices aren't practical or authorized. Reliability comes standard with up to 4,400 activations per charge. The 6061 T6 aluminum construction and IPX7 water resistance ensure performance in demanding environments, and the 11,000 lumen output and 130 decibel sound output ensure operational effectiveness. Let's take a closer look. And the NEXTORCH ND30 device itself is in a familiar package as far as its form factor, so it's similar to current Flashbang devices that are in use by many departments and units. It's dimension-wise, it's 128 millimeters, or about 5 inches in length, 40 millimeters in diameter, so those are very standard measurements. And as far as the weight, it's 265 grams. Now, for those of us maybe not as familiar with the metric system, which includes myself, it's basically it's 5 inches long by about 1.6 inches in width, and it weighs 9.34 ounces. Operation, it uses a spoon activation, so when the spoon is released, that would initiate the timer, and the spoon is held in place with a pin. So basically, you would loosen the pin. It's got a little retainer on it. Loosen the ring, twist, and then pull. So I'm not going to actually activate it at the moment. Is recharging. It has an internal 18650 battery, and it's rechargeable through a USB-C port right there. Around the circumference of the body, it has 18 LEDs that will flash, and that's with its output of 11,000 lumens with a beam distance of 70 meters, and this thing, it is very bright. The bottom is perforated, that's where the output speaker is. It puts out a 130 decibel sound output. It's kind of like a loud, kind of like a fire alarm type sound. So it's a little disorienting. It is very loud, and 130 decibels on that. As far as the controls, controlled by these 2 dials. So the first one would be the mode, and it has 4 different modes. The first mode would be a single pulse of sound and light. The second one would be a double pulse of sound and light. The third would be a series of 9 pulses. And then the fourth one would be 12 seconds of continuous pulses and light. It has 4 delay modes. and they're listed on there. You have a half a second, 1 second, 1.5, or 3 seconds. And to change those, basically you have your little selector dot there. You just align it what it is. Currently it's in mode 1. You just switch it to whatever mode you want, mode 2 or 3 or 4. As far as the delay, same thing. Just turn it to the delay you want. So we'll set it here. It's set for currently mode 4 at 1.5 second delay. The delay would be initiated again when the spoon is released. Okay, so I have some hearing protection in place. I've set this to its single chirp mode, so it'll flash once and chirp once. The speaker is down on the table to help keep the sound from being quite as loud. I still have earplugs in though, however, it is an enclosed room, and 130 decibels is pretty loud. So we'll go ahead and activate this. Now go ahead and pull the pin, and then when you release the lever, there it is. It was set for a half a second. So single flash, single chirp, and that's pretty much it. Now after 30 minutes, this will start to give a quiet chirp and a flash, and then repeat that every 10 seconds as its method of basically ensuring recovery so that they don't get lost. And then to deactivate, you would simply put the spoon back on. That at this point disarms it, and of course you put the pin back in to lock it in place. I'm going to go ahead and change this now to its mode 2. Mode 2, if you recall, will be a double chirp, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on a 1 second delay. So at this point, when I release it, it will have a delay of 1 second, and then it will chirp twice and flash twice. So I'll go ahead and we'll go. So that would be the 2 chirp mode. The single chirp mode is just basically just for purposes of checking it out more than anything. That single flash and single chirp really doesn't do much. The second mode gives you a better idea of its performance. So we'll go ahead and deactivate, and I will now set it on its third mode. The third mode would be a series of 9 of those flashes and 9 of the chirps, or the siren sounds. And what I'll do this time is I will lift this off the table so you get a better idea of how loud it is. And deactivate this. And put the pin back in. And that's pretty much it. The continuous mode, of course, for 12 seconds, or a series of 12. It's like I said, it's loud, it's very bright. So that gives you an idea of it in operation. Of course, I've got the studio lights on here. If this were completely dark, it would still be a blinding light. I believe this actually it was bright enough it was overriding the camera's capability, so it probably darkened up anyway. Your same thing happens with your eyes. The light is overwhelming. It's 11,000 lumens. So basically, if you're looking anything toward this, which I was be careful to not look directly at it, you'd have the spots in the eyes, everything. It'd be very difficult to see. Definitely something you want to be careful with. And if you're using this in a training scenario or for practice, anything like that, you want to make sure you have your hearing protection in. And go with that. 130 decibels is pretty loud. So that's pretty much it as far as the device itself. It's impact resistant to 2 meters. It's basically constructed of 6061 T6 aerospace aluminum, 2 meter drop resistant, IPX7 water resistant, so it's essentially waterproof. IPX7 means it can be fully submersed in water. It is recharged via USB-C, and the internal 18650 battery can power the unit up to 4,400 cycles on a single charge. That would be at its level 1, so single sound, single flash mode. If you set it on its full mode for 12 continuous seconds of sound and light, it can do that 65 times on a single charge, at which point you just recharge it and you're ready to go. So it makes it for a very nice device, being able to be reusable like this. The form factor allows it to be used in existing Flashbang pouches, and the operation is very familiar with anyone who has used Flashbang, so it's the same idea. Pull pin, toss, and to release the spoon. So that's pretty much it. The devices themselves brought to you by NEXTORCH. Now, the ND30 is limited to law enforcement and military only. However, they do have a civilian version, the ND30B, B as in Baker. The civilian version, output controls, everything is exactly the same. What's different is instead of being all aluminum, it's got rubber bumpers on the top and bottom. So it changes the form factor a little bit. It won't fit in military-style Flashbang pouches, so you would need maybe a different pouch. The interesting thing, the civilian version is less expensive by about $80. And also it's more drop resistant, so it has a 3-meter drop rating. The output's exactly the same. It's still 11,000 lumens and 130 decibels. So actually the civilian version in many ways is almost more capable than the law enforcement military only. I believe the main reason that they limited it was due to the form factor. The civilian one is more what I would call consumer friendly with those rubber bumpers. So if you're wanting to use those for practice or for airsoft or for milsim, the civilian version would be available to you, and that'd be the one you'd want to get. It's less expensive anyway, so. I hope this video is of value, and if so, please hit the like button. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe. We appreciate any feedback as well, so let us know your thoughts. And as always, until next time, stay safe.